Hello and thank you for joining us here on KBC Channel 1 for Lunchtime News. My name is Giverson, Maina, and our sign language interpreter is Byron Abuli. So join us for the next half an hour or so for news within and of course across the country. And our health officials in Isiolo County say public health facilities remain operational despite the ongoing doctors' strike that entered its fourth day. A County Executive Committee member for Health Services, Lukman Ahmed, and Chief Officer for Health Services, Dr. Mohamud Abdi Kadir, urged residents to continue seeking treatment, noting that only specialized health services had been affected. The officials said outpatient services, which form the majority of cases handled in public facilities, continue to be provided by nurses and clinical officers. They also expressed optimism that ongoing negotiations between the county government and the doctors' union will yield a solution to end the impasse.
Hii hospitali yetu ambayo iko hapa kwa siku inahudumia 150 to 200 people. Kwa siku. Kwa siku we have close to 15 births and maternal, we take care of our mothers who are giving birth daily in this hospital. Our dispensaries are functioning. If you go to Bula dispensary, iko madawa, watu wanafanyiwa basic laboratory services na mambo inaendelea vizuri.
Daktari ambayo wamefanya mgomo ni medical doctors na specialists. Wale wengine wa cadres wa kawaida, clinicians, nurses na laboratory technicians, technologists na wale wengine wote wako kazini.
From Isiolo, we take you to Lamu County, where residents are demanding the resumption of night travel along the Lamu-Witu Giverson highway, calling on the national government to restore normal operations on the route. Now, the residents who took to the streets to protest the continued restriction of night travel along the highway claimed the move has negatively affected business activities, the transportation of goods and access to essential services. Nominated Senator Shakila Abdallah, who was among the protesters, called for removal of the United States military camp in the area, claiming it's among the factors contributing to the continued closure of the highway at night. Meanwhile, civil society activists have vowed to pursue legal action against police officers for allegedly defying a court order that directed the restoration of night travel along the route.
Imefungwa kwa sababu ya ile base ya Amerika ambayo iko pale. Hii base haitufaidishi na chochote.
Hii barabara tutaifunga. Tutaifunga tena. I'm not missing my word. Tutaifunga hii barabara. Mpaka pale watangaze kwa hivyo curfew imeondolewa. Mpaka turudi tena mahakama kisha tusikie mahakama imesema nini.
We need development as a county. We need to develop as a county. Lakini bado tunapata kwamba uchumi huu unazidi kuwa limited because of limited restrictions, limited mobilities. Barabara from Hindi to Kiunga zimefungwa, barabara zinafungwa. We only have 12 hours to do our operations and economic operations.
Hakuna haja ya kuendelea na curfew hii. La sivyo wakiendelea hivi ni kujipiga kifua, itakuwa inamaanisha koti kiamua mtu afungwe miaka 10 na polisi wasifuate hiyo sheria, itakuwa wanavunja pia sheria.
Unfolded during an attempt by lawyers representing a fleet logistics company to serve court orders at a disputed property that has been under police guard for several months. The lawyers accuse the police of illegally occupying the land situated in Kiangombe along the old Mombasa Road in Nairobi and preventing their client from accessing the property despite existing court orders. The lawyers sought to formally notify police officers stationed at the property of the court's directives, arguing that the client has a legal right to access the land.
This piece of land here behind me is under dispute. So there is a case before the High Court of Kenya in the Environment and Land Division, number 34 of 2018, where a judgment was issued in way back in 2024, which gave the plaintiff some orders, that is Man Air Limited. We were granted orders staying the execution of that judgment. So essentially it means that judgment is held in abeyance and the suit property is supposed to return back to Fleet Logistics. That is what till the determination of this application that has been filed. Administratively, we are also going to write to the IG and DIG, informing them to give us the information under the Constitution, because we can access the right to access information.
Now to the neighboring Kiambu County. Residents of Gatondo North are set to benefit from improved access to land services following the opening of a new land registry office in Kamwangi town. The facility launched by the Ministry of Lands is expected to bring critical land services closer to the thousands of residents who have long been forced to travel to neighboring constituencies to process land-related matters. Speaking during the launch, Lands Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome said the new registry will help address nearly 30,000 pending land cases, significantly reducing delays and easing the burden on residents. Now, Gatondo North MP Njoroge Karuria, accompanied by Thika Town MP Alice Nganga, welcomed the move, noting that the constituency had for years faced challenges in accessing land services. Leaders expressed optimism that the new office will improve efficiency, enhance service delivery, and support faster resolution of land disputes and documentation processes.
Ambaye tutakuwa tunahudumia hapa kwa wakati huu. Kulikuwa kuna sababu ya kuleta hii registry. Wakora wa mashamba ardhi ni wengi. They must avoid any corruption deals. They must work diligently and they must deliver.
Sisi tumekuja hapa na wananchi na maofisa wangu kuhakikisha kuwa tumefacilitate, tumetoa records kule Gatundu, tumeleta hapa, na vile magistrate amesema, when services come closer to the people, expenses za kusafiri, mambo ya kujisumbua kwenda kule Gatundu sasa itakuwa imeisha, kwa sababu hapa itakuwa ni walking distance.
To Kilifi County, where the National Heroes Council Chief Executive Officer CEO Charles Wambia has pledged a sustained stakeholder engagement to plant trees at Heroes Corner and prisons across the country. Now, speaking at Kilifi County GK Prison, after planting 1,000 trees at the Heroes Corner, Wambia said the decision is in line with the government agenda to increase the country's forest cover. Take a look.
The National Heroes Council Board, Kenya Prison Service officers, heroes and heroines flocked Kilifi County GK Prison Heroes Corners for a tree planting exercise.
By virtue of the fact that prison has land, National Heroes Council has a big chance to also get opportunity to commit to the presidential directive of committing the 15 billion trees in the year 2032.
During the exercise, Council's official KPS and environmental heroes and heroines planted 1,000 trees at Heroes Corners to combat deforestation and restore degraded land. It was here that the National Heroes Council Chief Executive Officer CEO Charles Wambia pledged to continue partnering with other stakeholders to plant trees.
Our partnership in terms of presidential directive, this one is part of that, working together to achieve the goal. You know, Heroes, we just have a pavement office. We don't have land. So the only way we can come out as a board to achieve that goal is to partner with those institutions which can give us priority.
On his part, a Kenya Prison Service in charge of Kilifi County, Kennedy Ondijo, assured the council members that trees planted in the institution will grow.
Trees ambazo leo mumetuletea, ambazo ni zenu wenyewe, ambao mumetuletea hapa. Sisi kama Kenya Prison Kilifi, tumeshukuru sana ya kwamba tutazilinda na make sure ya kwamba next time mkirudi hapa mtaziona ziko hali ya.
He further challenged inmates and uniform officers to be involved in the conservation efforts.
Tumepanda around 500 trees na ambaye make sure ya kwamba staff and prisoners tutakuwa tumeweka ulinzi mkali ndio at least ilete environment ambaye inafaa, ambaye mkija mfurahie ya kwamba kila kitu ambaye inafanyika kwa ukweli.
So far, the council has planted hundreds of trees at Heroes Corners in Kenya Prison Service institutions, in among others Kitengela, Kajiado, Machakos and Kilifi County.
Now we shift gears to matters politics now. Leaders allied to Kenya Kwanza and by extension broad-based government were at Quisero in Kakamega County drumming up support for President William Ruto's re-election. Now the leaders led by National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula slammed the opposition for engaging in divisive politics and urged residents to rally their support behind President William Ruto's 2027 election. Now politics of 2027 succession also played out as a section of leaders lobbied for the deputy president's position in the coming general election. They were speaking during an empowerment event for several groups in Quisero constituency, Kakamega County.
Twende kule Sugoi tusungumuze na Rais Ruto, tumwambie tumekusukumia term 1, tumekupa 2 term, ikifika wakati wetu nawe pia usimame nyuma yetu.
Nyinyi mtampigia William Ruto? Hebu nione mkono ya 2 term hapa kwenu. Hao wakora wa ukabila washindwe wasishindwe. Sisi tunataka Kenya ambayo watu wameungana.
Ruto akitoa mguu, Weta anaweka. Ndio 2032 ikifika, Weta anajua State House inakaa namna gani, anajua Ikulu inakaa namna gani, na tunasonga.
Mheshimiwa Ruto alikuja akatuokoa ukulima wa miwa. Uchumi ulikuwa umekwenda chini sisi.
Na hapa tuko na ndugu yetu Wetangula hapa. Mnamjua Moses Wetangula? Mnamjua Moses Wetangula? Mnamjua Moses Wetangula? Mnamjua Moses Wetangula? Tusimame na yeye, si ndio?
And on that note, we take a short commercial break. Don't go too far, there's still so much more lined up for you.
My name is Tabitha Wairimu Onyego.
Yeah, my name is Enoch Onyego Matundura. We used to live the same area.
Our parents were neighbors. I thought he's married. He looked very mature. Kasema hi one day, miraculous. I was like, wow, we are not kucheat.
Naendanga SDA.
When do ulimtoa kanisa yetu? I got pregnant.
I had to man up and just tell my dad, kuna venye kumeenda.
Kisi ni wachawi. Tuka separate.
Maybe unakuwa fatigued with everything.
Yeah. Who takes longer to get ready?
Yeah.
It's me, really? No, I don't think so. It's you.
No.
Swim every ocean just to be with you.
Easy. I am clean. So this leaves you. See?
Who's he? Hey! Mwanamke anajaribu, si ndio?
Kama sijamuona. Sijamuona madam. Hello. Who's this?
Welcome back. You're watching Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. Now, Kenyans have been urged to take a personal responsibility in protecting the environment. This was the clarion call during a community cleanup exercise in Kibra led by the spouse of the Deputy President, Joyce Kindiki, who emphasized that the environmental conservation begins with individual action. She called on Kenyans to make environmental conservation a personal responsibility to supplement government efforts.
A green environment is the foundation of dignity, good health, and sustainable development. When we manage waste responsibly, reduce pollution, and protect our surroundings, we are indirectly contributing to climate action. We have remained committed to turning environment awareness in a practical action. Over the past 1 year, we have conducted community cleanup exercises in areas including Dandora and Kawangware, and today we are now in Kibra.
Now, still matters environment. Nyeri County marked World Environment Day with a tree planting exercise involving schools, Kenya Forest Service officers and community members. The participants held a 5-kilometer processing from Ndonyo Market to Gaturotoro Comprehensive School and Madenge Technical Training Institute grounds, the venue of the tree planting exercise. Now, the Governor Mutahi Kahiga urged communities to prioritize tree planting and environmental conservation, calling it a shared responsibility and safeguarding the future. He said communities must take the lead in restoring environment through consistent tree planting initiatives. Madenge Technical Training Institute Chief Principal Catherine Gikonyo said the institution is targeting to plant 1 million trees in support of the national directive to grow 15 billion trees by the year 2032.
I think we are at 48%. And this is something that we need to remember, that as a people, wisdom is planting a tree under whose shade we shall never sit. A lot of degradation of our environment, climate change is here with us, and we must stem that by doing everything that we should.
At Mathenge Technical, we have a target of planting nearly 1 million trees by the end of this year. We have partnered with different organizations. Today, the Nyeri County government assisted us in planting trees at the local primary school, where we planted Gaturuturu Primary Comprehensive School, where we planted over 200 fruit trees.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy.
We take you to Kisumu County, where a private foundation has embarked on environmental conservation efforts by spearheading the planting of more than 1,000 indigenous and fruit seedlings at Lenana School. Professor Rabach, the head of the foundation, says they partnered with the school to set up a green zone at the institution geared towards redefining conservation and storytelling through the Safal Eye in the Wild Photography Competition. The initiative is aimed at supporting amateur and professional photographers with education funding. The competition's objective is designed to advance long-term environmental benefits such as improved biodiversity, increased tree cover, and enhanced carbon absorption, among others. Photographers have until June 20th to enter the competition.
Foundation in an adoption policy whereby we are going to partner in different areas, starting from the environmental section, where behind us is an orchard where we have done 1,000 fruit trees of different varieties.
The Safal High in the Wild competition is a photography initiative sponsored by Mabati Rolling Mills and the Safal MRM Foundation. This year is our 7th edition. It's currently ongoing. We've opened the submissions to professional photographers, amateur photographers, individuals, community members who really love photography. If you don't have a camera, grab your phone and take up that beautiful photos and upload it on the Safal Eye in the Wild Photography Competition website.
Now let's change focus to matters Ebola. The Kikuyu Council of Elders have opposed the establishment of an Ebola quarantine facility at the Laikipia Airbase, arguing it will have a negative impact on the county. Now, the elders claim talks around its establishment have already begun to affect businesses in the county, particularly in Nanyuki.
The debate surrounding the establishment of an Ebola quarantine facility in Laikipia has continued to spark discussions, with the Kiama Council of Elders voicing their objections. Led by National Vice Chairman Dr. Njoroge Wamugo and Laikipia Patron Gitonga Wakimeria, the elders said many traders and entrepreneurs have experienced a decline in business activities, with some reporting cancellations by clients and partners due to fears associated with the proposed facility.
Kila mtu anataka kuja huku kama ni wakati wa holidays. Sasa wamesema hakuji. Watakuja namna gani kama nyinyi mko hapo na Ebola hapo? Ya nini wakuje? Watu wa biashara naye pia ni kama watu wengine wanasema wanaweza kuhama huko. Hata watalii hawakuji.
elders argued the decision was made without adequate public participation.
Haijafanya ile tunaita community engagement. Haijaeleza watu hii Ebola ni hii, inaweza kuwa hivi, inaweza kuwa hivi. Tunaambukiza siku moja tunaambiwa tu hii ni quarantine.
They also raised concerns about proximity of educational institutions within the airbase, including Laikipia Air Base Primary School and Laikipia Air Base High School.
Na walimu wanafundisha wanatoka town. Kwa hivyo tusiambiwe kwamba huko ni pahali isolated, hakuna mtu anaenda hapo. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Hapa ni watu wanatangamana na wengine.
Meanwhile, a section of leaders from Busia County welcomed the national government's move to establish a quarantine center in the border county. They described the initiative as a critical step in strengthening the county's preparedness against the deadly disease.
Mimi nataka kusihi serikali kama inaangalia kwamba kuna haja ya kuweka karantini katika eneo lolote hapa mpakani, iwekwe ili wale watu wanao patikana kwamba wana hivyo virusi vya Ebola waweze kuwekwa pale, wasikuje kuchanganyika na watu wengine.
There is screening going on at the Port Health in Busia. Screening is going on in Malaba, and our intention is that within the next few days we should have screening everywhere where people cross from Kenya to Uganda and back into Kenya.
This comes as Ikolomani Member of Parliament Bernard Shinali has called on the government to establish adequate quarantine centers at border entry points to strengthen the country's preparedness against Ebola.
We want quarantine centers ziwekwe mingi kwa kila mahali kwa mpaka. Tungoje ifike ama tujipange mapema. Corona imefika, hatujajipanga. Sasa saa hii wanasema tujipange, watu wanaanza kusema.
Nancy Okware, Lunchtime News.
And away from Ebola matters, the ruling United Democratic Alliance UDA party has intensified its campaigns in all Kalao constituency of Nyandarua County as it seeks to drum up support for its candidate Sami Mushina Nyaga ahead of the forthcoming by-election. Now led by Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru, the party's leadership has urged the locals to rally behind Mushina, describing him as the most formidable candidate to continue the legacy of the late former constituency's Member of Parliament George Kiaraho. Now the leaders say having worked closely with the late legislator, Mushina is privy to challenges affecting the residents and the region's development agenda.
Mumekubali kusimama na Mushina amalize kazi ya Kiaraho. Kazi iendelee ama isimame? Iendelee ama isimame? Iendelee ama isimame? Kama mnataka kazi iendelee, mchague Mushina ambaye alikuwa anafanya kazi na Kiaraho amalize hiyo kazi, si ndio? Alafu hiyo maneno ingine ya hiyo siasa ingine tutakuja tuongee.
Mimi nimetoka hapa na imani moja ya kwamba tunaenda kumchagua Mheshimiwa Mushina, na hii sio mkutano ya mwisho. Tutakuwa na mikutano nyingi sana.
Now we cross over to Tharaka Nithi County, where the legal education sector in universities has been challenged to uphold high training standards to ensure the country produces competent and credible legal professionals. Now, Tharaka University's Vice Chancellor Professor Peter K. Muriungi urged law students to read widely to improve their range in the legal profession. Now, speaking during the launch of the School of Law at Tharaka University, Chairperson of the Council for Legal Education, Professor Collins Odote, lauded the university's commitment in ensuring that law doesn't remain reserved for universities in the citizens, but also for those in the rural tertiary institutions. His remarks were echoed by Court of Appeal Judge and Senior Counsel Katwa Kigen, who emphasized the need for universities to maintain excellence in legal training. The Tharaka University School of Law is the 21st to be accredited to offer legal studies in the country.
It's annual reports so that we can monitor the work that they're doing, and the license that the universities get, like Tharaka Nithi got theirs in December, is valid for 5 years. So therefore, after every 5 years, you apply afresh, and part of that application process requires that we look at, have you met what you guaranteed in the curriculum?
In the past, we see lawyering
advocacy not being limited to the issues of legal disputes. It is also a question of getting communities and societies to be informed about their rights. The expansion of the legal profession is not limited to determining legal disputes. It is also an opportunity to enable communities and societies know their rights, enforce their rights and their entitlements.
Now, the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, KEPSA, has raised concerns over overlapping regulations, multiple levies, administrative delays and political uncertainty, warning that the challenges are eroding investor confidence in the country. Now, speaking during the engagement with the Senate Liaison Committee in Naivasha, KEPSA chairperson James Mwangi said the rising cost of doing business is forcing investors to reconsider investment decisions and redirect capital elsewhere. Now, Deputy Speaker of the Senate, Kaduri Murungi, acknowledged the challenges facing investors, noting that unpredictable licensing regimes, delayed payments and fragmented regulations continue to hinder investment and innovation. Stakeholders at the forum urge policymakers to prioritize reforms that will enhance competitiveness, attract investment and unlock economic opportunities at the county level.
Businesses thrive when approvals are timely, compliance requirements are straightforward, and government processes facilitate rather than frustrate enterprise growth. Conversely, where businesses encounter overlapping regulations, multiple levies, administrative delays, and uncertainties, the cost of doing business rises and investment decisions are often postponed and or redirected elsewhere.
15 years into devolution, counties remain the engines of economic growth, yet too many investors still face unpredictable licensing regimes, multiple levies, fragmented regulations, delayed payments, and bureaucratic bottlenecks. Also transforming agribusiness in counties by tackling high input costs, climate resilience, and market fragmentation.
And our technical and vocational education and training TVET institutions have been urged to continue integrating sports into training programs to produce all-round graduates equipped with both technical skills and essential life competencies. Now, speaking during the Kenya Association of Technical Training Institutions Kati Lake Region Athletics and Indoor Games 2026 at Mawego National Polytechnic, TVET Director in charge of Quality Assurance, Dr. Mesha Kopora, said sports complement technical training by promoting discipline, teamwork, leadership, resilience and time management. Elizabeth Okulo, Vice Chairperson of the association, said Kenya's global success in athletics begins at the grassroots level, with institutions playing a key role in identifying and developing athletes who can progress to national and international competitions. Now, Principal of Mawego National Polytechnic, Dr. Jonah Buto, noted that athletics and other sporting activities have enabled many trainees to secure employment opportunities in institutions such as the Kenya Defence Forces and the National Police Service.
TVET, when you add with the sports, it makes a complete trainee, an all-round person, because TVET is building skilled, innovative and productive Kenya.
After these competitions, that the AK will identify the best athletes to represent Kenya.
We know that other than the work that they learn, like plumbing, like accounting, like other things, when you are a sportsman, sometimes you could be earning as a sportsman even better as an accountant. So when they come around, we don't want them to lose their talents.
Now, the National Rugby Sevens team Shujaa suffered their third consecutive defeat in the ongoing HSBC Sevens World Rugby Championship after losing 14-5 to Great Britain in their last Pool A match. Now, Shujaa, who scored the lone try through Patrick Odongo, with Charlton Kerr and Finlay Leod Gilmore touching down for the Britons out of contention for a quarter-final place. This loss precedes a series of previous defeats where they were lost, or rather they lost to defending champions South Africa by 26-5 and Fiji, who hammered them 31-12. Shujaa now have to contend with the placement matches where they will have to put in extra work to ensure they stay in the top 8 that will see their way back to top flight World Sevens, hoping the USA and Great Britain will not spoil their party.
Kerr, Charlton Kerr scoots around the outside. It's great work from the leader of this team. And Great Britain get one back. Onyala clears away for Kenya. Need to get back into it. They butchered a try late in the half, right on half-time. Sadi's dangerous, sniping around, and then the hands are good. Oro, and he's got Odongo with him. This time Kerr again trying to stay in, and then he slips off it, and Patrick Odongo puts Kenya in front.
And that's where we end Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1 here at the Broadcasting House in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. My name is Giverson Maina. Our sign language interpreter is Byron Abuli. Until next time, it's bye-bye for now.
Imo iko wapi?
Imo iko sawa.